Uh, we are being recorded now. So let's start our session for
Yes.
today. And
Pronunciation.
as you see on the screen, you see the screen now.
Yes. Yes. It's
Okay,
pretty clear.
thank you. The session of today is about very important issue of pronunciation. So by the end of this module, you will be able to identify the individual sounds of English that are most difficult for your learners to pronounce. We are going to discuss the issues that our learners face while they are pronounce the English language. To use a range of activities to give your learners practice in pronouncing problematic individual sounds. I think we all went through that and go through that every day with our students that they have problematic sounds while they pronounce English. Use effective
Yes.
techniques to prevent poor pronunciation of individual sounds from developing. Use effective techniques to correct mispronunciation of individual sounds. So, let's start now with the reasons behind pronunciation problems. What do you think about these reasons? I think this problem with our students have reasons. I want to know your opinion about that. What's your own opinion from your experience about the reasons behind pronunciation problems? Think for a while and tell me.
Maybe they can't hear very clear to the word.
Yes, Zainab. If they didn't hear the word
Yes,
well,
Mr. Elya.
yes, Mrs. Asma, I can hear
I
you.
think they usually connect their native language with the. Yes. Can
Yes,
you hear me?
excellent point.
I think usually pupils connect their native language with the foreign language they learn.
Yes, this is the interference of the native language, the first language with the second language. Excellent.
Yes,
This is a very important
yes, they
point.
usually do this. I suffer from this in my class usually.
In fact, we all suffer from that, and this is one point that we are going to discuss
Mm.
after a while. Thank you, Ms. Asma. It's an amazing point you casted for us, and we are going to discuss that. Okay. First reason, the first language interference. The first language interference. We are Arab, we speak Arabic language. So our culture concerning language interferes the English language while pronouncing. Like the word something. How could your students say something?
Something.
Yes, of course, something.
They
They
don't.
they
They don't
pronounce
pronounce. أيوة, they don't pronounce. بالاس.
yes,
Not.
like S sound. So
They
they
don't. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, Miss Asma, go on, go on.
No, thank you.
Okay, something they can pronounce it.
I was going to say the same.
Yes, we all go through that in our experience with our students when they pronounce the th, or the, like the or se. And another example, people. How could they pronounce people? I think
They don't pronounce P, they pronounce B.
yes, like be.
People.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
The light B for book.
yes.
So they can pronounce it people or people, but not people. This is the first
Yes.
language interference, the first reason behind pronunciation problems. Second, language inefficiency. This is another reason behind pronunciation problems. Second, language inefficiency. Our second language here is English, or the target language. So if the student is inefficient in pronouncing the English words, so he can make some mistakes, and these mistakes consolidate by time and become um, his own manner, or on his own way in pronouncing such a word. Like this word, chore, the student uh, can say it core, shore, chore. So if he is inefficient, but it's chore. And the word
Sure.
cupboard, cupboard,
Cupboard.
yes,
Yes.
some students,
They usually pronounce it cupboard.
yes,
Cupboard.
cupboard,
Some students. Yes, عشان.
yes, most of them, because they
Yes.
memorize the word like two divisions.
Cupboard.
They divide it, or
Yes.
some teachers divide the word for the students, like memorize it cup and board. When they
And
mix
board.
them together
Yes.
or compound them together, they pronounce it cupboard, but its correct pronunciation is cupboard. They
Cupboard.
may hesitate in
Exaggeration.
pronouncing this word. They may say it exaggeration
Exaggeration.
or exaggeration. So
Yes.
its correct pronunciation is exaggeration. So this is the second reason
Exaggeration. Yes.
behind pronunciation problems. Let's go to the third one. And the third one is induced errors. Induced errors, it means interior errors, that the errors that comes from inside, comes from the instructor or the teacher, caused by teachers. This problem is caused by us as teachers. When we don't look up the transcript or the pronunciation
Yes.
of the
صح.
word in the dictionary, so we mispronounce the word for the students, and the students take it for granted because they trusted us. The students trust the teacher and memorize it as the teacher said. So when I pronounce the word dulab for the student cupboard, they will say it all the time cupboard. So we have to do some rule in that we must look up the transcription of any word we teach for our students. Hello, Miss Sabah. Hello, Miss Sabah on board. And let's take a screenshot for the attendance of today's session. Okay.
Please, Mr. Elya.
Yes, yes, Ms. Dina.
Sometimes we confused about pronunciation American or British. يعني بعض some words in British different from American.
Yes, not
Some people asked us which is the right.
Yes, not only British English and American English, we also have Canadian English and Australian English according to the dictionary itself. And I can say that the word dictionary, it's British. You can pronounce it American like dictionary. So they say it's a dictionary, look up the dictionary, or you can ask the secretary, but the British people say it secretary. So we have
Yes.
many words, no way to know the pronunciation, but look up the dictionary. You can look up, or some electronic dictionaries can pronounce it by voice, or you can look up the Google dictionary or Oxford or any other sources for knowing the pronunciation of any word, and it's written on it American or British.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to another slide. Engaging with pronunciation. To engage with pronunciation in our teaching, we have a lead-in, discuss the difficult sounds. Where can peers or individuals think about your learners? Which English sounds do they find most difficult? For each sound, write a word you know they find difficult to say. So think with me. Do you have um, any word in your mind right now that you find your students cannot pronounce it well؟ لو كان حاضر في ذهنك دلوقتي أي examples ممكن نناقشها؟
Yes. Many examples.
Like اسم زينب.
Somewhere this in new curriculum of primary 3,
Yes.
such as penguin, such as um, fraction, الكسور.
Yes.
Uh,
They can mispronounce it with friction, like fraction, friction.
Friction, yes.
The penguin, sometimes they pronounce it what? Penguin, penguin, or something like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And some words of math, such as minus, plus, equal, quarter. These
Yes,
words.
yes, they can pronounce quarter to quarter, or
Quarter.
yes. We passed through all that, but you refreshed our minds. Thank you, Ms. Zainab, so much. So let's have some examples here. I can ask you, what about your students with this word? How could they pronounce this word?
Thanks in S.
Like S sound, thanks.
They pronounce it thanks.
Yeah, they pronounce it thanks like the S. For me, most of my students do that, and all the time I have to correct their pronunciation, and not directly as we discussed before. If you remember the error correction, you remember this session, error correction,
Yes.
we can use our techniques that we have learned together, the error correction techniques, to correct them to pronounce correctly. So the word here, thanks, they can pronounce it like this sound. This one,
زن وليس الزن.
yes, like
تنطق الز.
zain and Arabic.
زد.
This is the interference of our first language with the target language. The students say it or pronounce it then, the, not the. And this one,
the letter V.
yes,
Thin.
thin, they pronounce it like sa, S
Sin.
down,
Sin.
sin. He is a sin boy.
Thin.
So it's not correct, and it goes to another meaning if we say sin instead of the, thin. And this one,
Paper.
yes, paper, like B for book, not P for apple, like is the correct
Bib.
pronunciation. Okay, and now we are going to start the techniques. And this is the most important
روح معه.
part of our session, the activities and the techniques we use to teach
اقفل الباب يا محمد.
correct pronunciation. Okay. Follow your trainer's instructions, work in groups, and these questions. What is a minimal bird? Why are minimal pairs useful for practicing individual sounds? Can you think of some minimal pairs that would be useful for you? So, firstly, let's define the minimal pairs. What is a minimal pairs if you have a previous knowledge about that? Anybody know the meaning of minimal pairs? Anybody
Like صوت شاء ذا ث.
like again, Miss Asma?
Like th the شا شا.
These are individual letters, but what about minimal pairs of words in words?
Yes.
So let's see together what is a minimal pair. A minimal pair is a pair of words where the individual sounds are the same. A minimal pair is a pair of words where the individual sounds are all the same, except one. Minimal pair of words like pray and play. The whole pronunciation of the individual letters are the same except one. Pray, play. So r and la, the different ones. But p the same, a the same, y the same. Very and ferry. All the individual sounds the same except the fa. Very, very. Card and cart, all the same except the and ta. So, uh, you know now what's the meaning of minimal pairs? Hello, is it clear
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay. Why are minimal pairs useful for practicing individual sounds? Now we have the first technique we use to teach the correct pronunciation using the minimal pairs. And we have the question now. Why are minimal pairs useful for practicing individual? Could you tell me why? Why is this activity important or useful one? Minimal pairs are particularly useful for practicing individual sounds because they highlight how important such sounds can be. For example, if one sound is mispronounced, you could be saying a different word with a different meaning. Also, by contrasting sounds in words, it becomes more obvious to learners that they are different. So, for example, if we have these minimal pairs, very and very, if my student say this word very like ferry, so I can write the two words for him to see himself the difference between them, and they have different meanings and different spelling. So when he or she sees the minimal pairs, so he can learn that it's different and next time will pronounce it correctly. Very, not ferry, because ferry is another meaning, but it means something special. Boat.
Yes.
Minimal pairs, can you think of some minimal pairs that would be useful for your learners to practice? You will need to you will need to provide feedback depending on learners' own language. Activity one, we have an important activity here about learning the minimal pairs. Cut out the cards from appendix A and mix them up in an envelope like this. You make something like this paper and then cut them out in small pieces of uh, each piece of paper have a word. Then put them all in an envelope. Tell the participants to take a card from the envelope, read it, but do not show it to anyone. Walk around the room saying the word aloud, like going round and saying very, very, very. Listen to others and find their partner. The others go around the room and as well as you are doing, say or pronounce the word with them. Come to your, so listen to others and find their partner. Each one of all the students find the partner or the other one that have the minimal pair, come to you together and return their cards. They come to you and look. The students say, teacher, I'm or Mr. or Miss, I am pray, and the other one, I am play. So you are a minimal pair give me your cutouts and put them again in the envelope, and then you can make this fun again and again and over again with the students that can take different words, different minimal pairs, and they get used to pronouncing the minimal pairs correctly. So, can you see the cutouts on the screen now? You got the idea
Yes.
how to make it?
Yes.
Okay. The second activity we have here is the right question. What is the right question? Tell the participants to work as pair A and pair B for the first activity, the right question. Cut out and give out the cards which can be found in Appendix B. Tell them to follow the instructions on the cards. If time allows, the participants can swap cards and repeat the activity. So I can clear that for you like this. First part at the top of the paper and the second part at the bottom of the paper. You can cut it and give some students the upper ones and some students bottom ones. You have some questions in each paper. You can make this activity for pairs of students. The first student in a pair can say, for example, the first question, what does pray mean? Or what does play mean? Without showing the word for the student. If the student pronounced it well, so the other one will define the word correctly. Like, what does cart mean? Okay, what does cart mean? I can play this with you. What does cart mean? Can you answer me?
It is a carriage pulled with a donkey.
Thank you, Mr. Snap. This is correct. So I pronounce it correctly and you listened well to me. So if another one asked what does cart
See.
mean, and he said
Mm.
cart means some paper we play with. So he misunderstood the word, or may I pronounce it wrongly? Okay, this is
Yes.
the game like, and we can swap the roles. One of the pairs ask, then the other one listen and define the word. Tongue twisters. This is the third activity.
Twisters.
What's the meaning of tongue twisters? It's a very funny activity. What's the meaning of tongue twisters? Do you have any idea about that?
No.
Okay. By the way, you know the tongue twisters well. And while we were younger, we practiced that in Arabic, I think. So I can surprise you when I say it's this game. You remember this, or have
No.
you played this game?
Yes.
Yes.
أرنبنا في منور أنور
No.
وأرنب أنور في منورنا. Okay?
Yes. The sea shore is in sea shore في مقطع في
Yes,
bracket 5 as like
the seashell. Yes,
yes.
I'll show it for you.
I remember it now.
Yes,
She
Zainab. Yes, that's right.
she sells seashells.
Yes,
She sells seashells.
She said,
exactly. It's
Yes.
on the coming one, on the
uh,
coming slide. So when we were children, we practiced this. أرنبنا في منور أنور وأرنب أنور في منورنا. Can say it many times quickly, and when we make a slip, okay, so you failed on another one, tries it. أرنبنا في منور أنور أرنب في منور. Then
Yes.
we, of course, we cannot say it many times, but tongue twisters can make us master the language pronunciation, or we can control the words that come out of our mouths. So we can try it in English. We have the definition here of tongue twisters. A tongue twister is defined as a phrase or sentence that is hard to speak fast, usually because of alliteration or a sequence of nearly similar sounds. So the example, you tried to tell us, she sells seashells by the
She
sea.
sells.
Yes, she sells seashells by the seashore. But the game here is not
You
to.
can say it quickly, fast.
Yes, exactly, Mrs. Ma. The game here is to say the sentences quickly. So the competition is that someone manages to say it quickly for the most times. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. I started it. Okay, I said it 3 times. So we can practice it now. Miss Asma, please say it quickly.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Again,
Quickly,
she
quickly.
she sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Seashells. Sorry.
Okay, Miss Zainab.
Last one.
she sells by the
Quickly,
she
quickly.
sells the seashore the shells by the seashore.
Okay,
She I can
we consider it.
quickly no.
Yes,
بلاش.
we consider you slipped, okay, from the first time. So, Miss Sabah, would you like to try it?
He sells seashells by the seashore.
Yes.
Again, yeah.
Okay.
فيها حلو كملي.
Can and quickly.
He sells. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Excellent.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yes.
Seashells by the seashore.
Excellent.
Again,
Yes.
he sells seashells by the seashore.
5.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
No, you are too slow. So, but you are the winner now. If
Yes.
if you do that,
No,
uh,
she is not fast. I think
yes, not
fast.
fast at the end,
No.
but we consider it the winner.
Objection.
They
Mm.
she said it 4 times correctly. So I think this is very funny and make fun for the students,
Oh, صح.
and at the same time they enjoy the activity and learn something, that they learn how to control pronouncing the letters. Okay, we have more examples here. if you want to write them down, or when you watch the video again, you can
Take screen.
use them with your students. Like, if two witches would
Screenshots. We
watch
take screenshots.
two watches, which witch would watch which watch? So this is a tongue twister you can use with your students. And another example, a big bug bit the little beetle, but the little beetle bit the big bug back. So we have uh,
Bit.
a very near sounds and alliteration that make the pronunciation confused, or make the student confused, and he need to control it and concentrate. So this is a very good way to learn how to pronounce. Pronunciation prevention is better than cure. المثل اللي احنا بنقوله بالعربي، الوقاية خير من
خير من العلاج.
خير من العلاج.
how to apply that concerning the pronunciation. Why is prevention is better than cure when it comes to pronunciation? Prevention is better than cure where pronunciation is concerned. Teachers should try to prevent incorrect pronunciation of individual sounds when introducing new language to learners. It's more difficult to correct problems later on. طبعا, it would be an issue and a very difficult issue to solve after the consolidation of the wrong pronunciation with the student. When the mispronunciation has become a habit with the students. Sometimes learners don't know how to physically pronounce individual sounds, particularly if those sounds do not exist in their own language or